5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the unofficial Lewis Hamilton Championship celebration show.
No.
From the three biggest Mercedes fans you'll ever meet.
No, I won't believe it.
You have
It's
to
not
believe
over
it.
till it's over. Romain Grosjean can still win this championship.
No, he can't.
He
actually.
definitely cannot make the championship.
Welcome to our Singapore recap show. If you missed this race,
Well, there's one thing that was really entertaining about this race was the facts before the race, almost as more entertaining than the actual race. Do you know that Singapore is one of 3 city-states left in the world? Others are Monaco and the Vatican City. I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that before the race.
yeah, thanks to Formula One who provides those
Yeah.
little facts. Did you know also that the lights surrounding the circuit, there's 1,771 lights.
That's right, and that there is no air conditioning leaking on the racetrack.
There's also only one section that's permanently part of the track.
That's true.
And also there's been a safety car in every race since 2008.
They
the
actually
first
averaged
race.
1.4.
Singapore was the first night race in Formula One
All right,
history.
so
That
that
was
was
back in
that was
2008.
the most interesting part of this entire race.
That's
Thanks
right.
everyone for watching. Make sure if you like this video, you can comment, subscribe as well.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. It
No.
was, with the exception of, I guess, the qualifying session on the Saturday and then the first stint maybe, but more or less the first couple laps. So I guess if we backpedal a little bit to the Saturday, the qualifying session, that lap from Lewis Hamilton, probably arguably his best ever qualifying lap and sort of one-shot lap in his career.
I'd say so. The fact that he could hook up the car and hit literally every single apex at top speed, you couldn't have driven that track any better. And it's
No.
the same with Max too. There's
Yeah.
no way Max could have driven that track that well.
That was sort of lost upon just because of how good the lap was, and quite frankly, you can't even be mad at that just because of how, like you said, how skilled he was in every apex of the corners. But yeah, we didn't sort of give Max Verstappen maybe enough credit for being, I think, what was he, 3/4 tenths off?
It was I think 3/10,
And
which
if you-
is still ridiculous.
Yeah.
If he was in a Mercedes, he would have beat Hamilton, I think.
And if he was in the Ferrari, it would have been too.
Also would have.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
If you guys didn't really follow it that closely, he was having engine issues pretty much all weekend long. There's something wrong with when it was on acceleration as well, like the engine.
Was it called stop neutral or
Something like that. It was something
Something-
with the neutrals, but it wasn't accelerating properly, and then there was some derate issues as well from the battery in the turbo
Wow.
unit. So he was pretty much dealing with issues all weekend long. He said he almost stalled under the safety car as well. His pit stop.
Yeah, you could really tell her in the pit stop. That thing lugged away. You're like, oh, is this thing out of gas? That's what it sounded like. It was out of gas.
Yeah. Everybody was saying when it fired up, it wasn't sounding correctly. So, with all that considered, 4/10 off was quite phenomenal for him. And then, Vettel on the other hand just completely shit the bed on both days, and not even both days. On the Friday as well, when he hit the wall in FP2, missed a good bulk of race simulation and qualifying simulation. I don't think it affected the Saturday that much for him. This is a track he's won 4 times at, but maybe it did.
I'm impressed he got to the end on those ultra softs though.
Yeah.
On those purple wall, he did a good job of tire management in that race. Let's give him a little bit of credit for that because he was still somewhat up there, except for the last 10 laps, which it seemed like he was just saving the engine. He was still up there with at one point it was 2 seconds off Lewis Hamilton
Yeah.
when that whole kerfuffle happened.
Yeah, I guess that's the next thing we can talk about is just how frustrating Ferrari's strategic,
Why do they only bring one hard tire to the race?
right?
I know you have to decide 9 weeks in advance, but
But
really?
why they brought, I think, 9 sets of hypersofts. I think probably 3 or 4 of the Ultra, and then 1 set of the soft. And everybody in the top 6, if I'm not mistaken, went to the soft.
Yeah.
On the first pit stop.
Wow.
So I don't understand this is what frustrates me, and for the second year in a row, they've blown the championship. Because why would you pit the Ultrasoft when you most likely know that it's not gonna, last the entire race, unless you get a safety car. So either they were banking on a safety car to come out at some point in the race. I don't know if they thought Kimi was gonna pull a PK in 2008 and crash into the wall on purpose for that to happen. But it just was a stupid strategy because they knew that he was going to struggle to get to the end, and you can't push.
I'm gonna give Ferrari a little bit of help here, and that's because they were the first persons to that was the first car to make a pit stop the whole race. So you weren't like then everyone kind of reacted and went to softs, and like if Vettel was maybe the second or third driver to make a pit stop, I bet you would have went softs. But he was the first one trying to make a move. Figured, okay, let's go ultras. Everyone's gonna be going ultras, and then everyone goes softs. So they kind of got caught out a little bit there, where they made the first move, but everyone else reacted in a better way than how Ferrari did.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I also think that with all the data that they have from simulations and from Pirelli, they
Well,
probably
there is no simulations. They didn't run the tire all weekend.
True. But I mean, in terms of the Ultrasoft, I think that they probably should have had some numbers in terms of what the degradation is like on the Ultrasoft.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good tire. It's obviously better than the Hypersoft in terms of how long it will last, and it's better than the soft because it's quicker. But I almost think that it was like a last-second decision because what happens if the safety car doesn't come out? I mean, the Hypersoft was able to last a bit longer because of the safety car. So what happens if the safety car doesn't come out? Do they still pit the Ultrasoft because it would have been probably 3 or 4 laps sooner? So was it a last-second call that was made, or whose decision it was? But ultimately, it didn't end up working out for them because Vettel had to, like you said, save the engine too, and then also, be careful with his tires. And then at one point, he ended up at the end like 23 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, so there was really no chance for him at all.
Yeah, it's tough from Ferrari because it seems like every week they're on the wrong end of the strategy call.
Yeah.
They make the call, then everyone's like, haha, gotcha, and everyone else does the opposite.
Yeah. And even in the undercut situation, Verstappen still came out ahead of them.
Yeah.
And he almost stalled coming out of his pit box.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Max managed that.
Yeah, because he ends up behind Perez when he comes out, and then he can't get by Perez, and then, Verstappen almost bottles it in the pit stops and still comes out ahead.
Perez was a disaster this race. My God. Like, it's Mexican Independence Day, which they mentioned like 3 or 4 times in the broadcast, so like, happy Independence Day, Mexico. But he wasn't an independent man during that race. I can tell you that
probably
much.
just partied too hard, Just
He might have. He might have had
Maybe.
too many drinks in Singapore because he was everywhere, all over the racetrack.
Oh my God! Yeah, and they even looked at the incident with Ocon again, and like you could see that they said, well,
Like, if I understand you don't see him there, like I can understand that, but like,
but he corrected.
I don't
I mean,
know.
he steered. I want to say he steered into him, but he was like,
it's both their mistakes.
yeah,
It's,
but more Perez, I think.
yeah. I think so too. I feel bad for Ocon, but like again, I agree with Martin Brundle where it's you probably shouldn't have placed your car there on the first lap
Correct.
against your teammate. At the same time, Perez should probably know what's going on around him. It's the first lap, so
Yeah.
he should be a little more aware.
Just quickly on that first lap, I don't know. I think it was Grosjean who was just like he saw the first chicane and he was like,
No.
yeah, no thanks,
And
and
he
he just cut the corner.
But he never got a penalty for it.
No.
No one said it. They don't ever just kind of forgot. He made like 8 positions on that opening. Like,
Yeah, he's just like, well, screw this. Like, I'm not gonna.
That was the game plan. It was.
someone's gonna crash and no one's gonna remember what happened.
Remember, I don't know if you guys remember this. It was last year when they were releasing those driver briefing videos, and like that was Grosjean was the one who the next race like spoke up, because like Charlie Whiting's always like, does anybody have anything from the previous race? And then Grosjean, he's like, a couple drivers cut to turn 1 at Singapore, and he's like, Perez, I think, was one of them. Perez was like, what the hell, man?
Didn't Perez talk to him after? He talked to Charlie after and be like, I never did this on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, talk about sucking up. Like,
Last year it was understandable because there was 3 cars that plummeted into the wall, but like this year Grosjean just like made an effort. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna completely cut the chicane or the turn. So
he saw a little plume of smoke and was like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry, we're good.
yeah, but yeah, Perez's uneventful afternoon didn't stop there. He pulled a Sebastian Vettel in Baku on Sergei Sorokin and just slammed right into him.
Mate, you've been annoying all race. Screw you.
That's literally what it was, though. I mean, there's no way that he didn't see that he wasn't by him.
Like, it wasn't even close. He hit the side pod.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was hilarious though. Just Sergei Sorokin was my driver of the day.
Yeah, I agree. He was my driver. He provided the most entertainment because he got the leaders close to each other at one point too. He was doing overtakes in blue flag conditions. I loved it. Like I'm sure no one else on the actual track liked it, but I loved it. He was like, Sergei Sorokin, come back to F1 next season if you're gonna do that all race. But
Yeah, I think he's got a drive for me.
yeah,
Yeah, you just ignore, well, not necessarily ignoring blue flags, but just, I mean, refuse to give up positions.
yeah. He's like, no, man, this is a race, which I love.
Yeah.
Like, we have to have
Well,
more of that.
at one point, I think it was Verstappen. Was Verstappen? It's like, no, Max, they're racing.
Yeah, Christian
Yeah,
Horner.
They're racing.
So they're racing, Max.
Yeah, you can't blame him. I mean, obviously they're not racing for much, but
Yeah.
still, it's
Well, you're still racing for position. That
Yeah.
does count for something. I think there's prize money. Is there prize money in each race, or is it just the end of the season?
just the end, I think. But I mean, it's obviously determined on the results, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's
like
pride.
you said,
It's
yeah.
pride.
That too.
I mean, he's looking for a drive next year, so
Yeah. No, it was good stuff from that point. When Grosjean sort of didn't want to, I mean, that was a bit clumsy on his part when Verstappen was behind him, and then he sort of made no
Yeah.
real effort to get out of the way because Verstappen was closing in on Hamilton at that point, so he probably lost a bit of time.
deserved a blue or a 5-second penalty there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of those handed out, but I mean, really, that was the most interesting part. We were saying this off air was when the Lewis was catching up to us, the backmarkers,
Yes.
Right.
and so we were prominently featured in this race. But yeah, that was the most exciting part. They backed him up so much that Verstappen and Vettel caught
Yeah.
up.
Well, that's when Sorokin and Grosjean had that battle. They were battling
Yeah.
each other.
Right.
It was a really good battle.
It was
actually.
a really good battle. Yeah.
Like Sorokin did well defensively. Grosjean did very well offensively.
Mm-hmm.
It was entertaining, and you can't that was like one of the only really
That's
overtakes in the race.
That was
True.
about it. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it was close. Like Verstappen he almost sort of lunged it on the inside on Hamilton when he got by.
I thought he was
Sorokin,
going to,
but
but it was a good block by.
yeah, no, it was smart. It was smart driving from Hamilton. He
Yeah.
knew he wanted to squeeze by in that turn, and then after
See, if that was NASCAR, you throw the bumper right to the other guy and get him loose
Right,
in the
yeah.
corner and see you later. But obviously you can't do that because you wouldn't have a front wing.
Yeah. Did you guys see that ring on Sorokin's
Yeah, how
front wing?
crazy was
That was
that?
Wait,
hilarious.
what?
So during the Ocon crash, as Sorokin was kind of sliding by, a part of Ocon's wheel came off, flying off, and somehow got wedged in I guess the front wing, the arrow parts of the front wing, and you're just sitting with a circle rim. It looked
Yeah.
pretty cool actually.
And it was funny, like the commentators speculating. They're like, it looks like a bike lock almost.
basketball?
Yeah, like a basketball. So yeah, that was funny. And then throughout the race, we saw shots of what might have been rain, and then according to Martin Brundle, or I think it was Brundle.
Yeah,
was
Brandon was like, "Oh, it's air conditioning."
That's air conditioning. I'm like, that's a lamp.
And
I
I'm
mean,
pretty
do it-
sure Anthony was like, no, Martin, sorry to burst your bubble, but yeah, there is rain around
Yeah.
the track, just a little bit, but there is.
Yeah, it's like it's fluid just falling from lights or something. There was like a 30% chance of rain, but it was nothing ever.
Yeah.
I think it's so humid and hot there that
That race needed rain.
They were saying what, like 55 degrees Celsius at one point?
In the cockpit, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
I mean, this is what amazes me because, if we compare it to like another sport, like for example, in tennis in the U.S. Open the last couple weeks, it was, like 40, 45
Yeah.
degrees, and they
Yeah.
brought in the heat rule for the men's side because the women get it all the time, but the men don't. #equality. But but the first time ever, because it was so hot, they got a heat rule. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, Formula One drivers are, like, what was it? Like, yeah, like you said, 50 degrees in the cockpit.
To be
so
fair,
it's
though,
like,
you're not running. Obviously, it's still a lot of work. I'm not saying it's not a lot of work, but
Yeah.
it's not as big cardio-wise. It's more muscular. So it's a lot of just making sure you're hydrated before the race to make sure. Because
Yeah.
what did they say? Another fact at the start of the race, it was 4 kilos this race.
4 kilos,
body
yeah, which
weight?
is a lot of pounds.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
8.8.
Hey Siri, how much is 4 kilos in pounds?
Oh,
8.8. 8 that's a lot, yeah.
Champion.
Yeah. Yeah,
I did maths.
it is true. I mean, but we've heard a lot of drivers out of breath sometimes on radio, and I know that they have to have really good cardio. So I'm not,
Yeah.
I've never driven a car before, but yeah, I think that's true as well. But anyways, it just brought up something interesting to sort of think about, like, because when you think about it, you've got essentially two layers of full body clothing
Yeah.
on, balaclava, gloves, helmet. I
Don't
just
some drivers have like a cooling system in there?
I don't know if they're allowed to. I know they have those ice vests that they had on the grid, but I don't know. I don't think they're allowed to wear them actually during the race.
I thought there's a cooling system in some of the drivers' undergear that like puts cool water, cool gel through or something like that. No,
Maybe.
I thought that was a thing. If not, that should be a thing.
Should be a thing, yeah.
Like that just makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they have that.
But I mean, how cool would it really be? Because they're
Yeah, they're right up against the engines. So.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but you get a little like a little compressor in your.
I mean, the
No?
water that they have or the fluid, I mean, it's super hot. So
I'm
it's,
Yeah,
I'm not
it's
talking
hot.
about. I'm not talking from there. A little you have a little bit of water. Like it's whatever water is in your suit, and then you have a little compressor, which if people who
I
don't
have no
know,
idea.
Here's what you do:
what
you
a
run a
compressor
tube
is.
from the radiator
yeah, that
up
would help.
through the driver's
That
legs.
If you don't know what a compressor is, a compressor basically runs a refrigerator. It helps cool
Mhm.
down. Anyways,
I don't know how big it would need to be, but
small.
if
If
it was,
it's just a little bit of like, you don't have to run a lot. I don't know.
I
That's
don't
just
know.
my idea.
FIA, get on it.
No, yeah, I think I'm smart, but I mean, maybe not. I can't design it, so.
Yeah. Well, there's a great video that was done a few years ago that shows Mark Webber, who was probably one of the fittest drivers ever, preparing for a hot race. So check that out on YouTube. It's really interesting. It was a year after he retired, and they did like the body fat measurement.
Oh yeah.
And he said he was 4% body fat.
Which is like they said the lowest you can get. That's not dangerous for your body.
Yeah, he said 1% up on what he would be if he was racing. I was like, what? So he's 3% body fat when he was racing.
They
which
say
is
2%
insane.
Wow.
body fat, you could die. so.
Probably, yeah.
Since we're talking about drinks bottle, I'm just thinking because does end up being warm liquid, right? Like
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
warm
very
liquid.
warm, yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you steep a tea and put tea in your drinks bottle, and then you could just be having tea?
Because that doesn't quench your thirst.
I think you
I
can
think
get
that'd be horrible.
you can get a thirst quenching tea.
I don't
Or
know, man.
hydrated-
I don't think
tea.
that would work. I'd be like putting coffee in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put tea in there.
Nah, man.
They
That's,
put, like, whatever fluid they have now, I think they put a lot of more salt in it, too.
Yeah,
But,
some tea. Oh, I
don't
think
know.
no, I think tea would be nice. And then as you're driving, especially if you're like it's a boring race, whatever. Say you're Lance Stroll and you weren't mentioned once during the race, just have some tea and enjoy your time.
it's not one of your best ideas, but...
I think it's pretty
autopilot.
good.
You need
Right.
autopilot for that.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of this. I was thinking of this like during the race. I was like, oh, I should put some tea in there. You could tell the race wasn't that interesting because I was thinking about tea and drinks.
Yeah.
bottles.
Yeah. I think we've pretty much covered everything from the race standpoint.
Yeah, I know. It's.
I mean, what else? I mean, really... Oh, well, I guess honorable mentions. It was sort of like your eyes were just kind of staring off into space, and then out of the nowhere, those pop-up graphics for new lap record comes out. Boom, McLaren logo, Fernando Alonso. I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah, I
the
saw that too. Yeah, I was really surprised by that one.
Did Magnussen end up being the one that got the fastest lap?
Yep.
It
So
was.
now
Yeah,
Magnussen
okay.
walks away with the lap record at Singapore. So
Excuse
good for Kevin Magnussen.
Yep.
me.
But, did he do it on the soft tire though, or
He
the
did it
ultra?
on the hypers, and I think he put him
Oh.
on like with like 5 laps to go or 10 laps to go, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, they should have a point for fastest lap." Like I know you just end up seeing all the back markers at the end going for fastest lap, but I think
Yeah.
that'd be interesting, no?
Yeah.
Something, yeah, like prize money or
Yeah, or like here's a
half
bonus.
points. Yeah.
I think I go full point, half points. They tried to do that at one point.
Well,
It's terrible.
they probably have something with the team for setting fastest lap or something like that.
Like contract clause.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
in soccer where
Maybe.
like if you score more goals in a season, you get extra amount of money at the end of the year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we should bring that in. I think a point.
I think a point would
Yeah.
work. They do that in a lot of race.
I think for even pole position too. Make Saturdays interesting.
Yeah, Saturday's already pretty interesting though. I find.
I know, but sometimes it's just like, I mean, in previous seasons it used to be sort of foregone conclusions, and sometimes pole position isn't the best place to be in. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Just throwing it out there, but yeah. Other than that, from the race itself, I mean, yeah.
Where are we off to next?
Russia, September.
I thought Russia was in the
30th?
beginning of the year. No.
No, they moved it
Oh
because they
man,
switched
so
Baku, right?
confused. Oh, that's right.
Because Baku used to be June, but
Can't
yeah.
keep up year to year.
Yeah, another sort of power sensitive circuit. Russia is a lot of straights.
I like Russia. It's a
Yeah,
it's a
good
nice
circuit.
Really
Yeah.
good circuit actually.
Yeah, in Sochi, where the Olympics were, so it's a brand new track, essentially, about 4 or 5 years old now. And yeah, so now 40-point lead for Lewis Hamilton, and I mean we were joking at the start. We can wrap up with sort of the championship picture. I was joking at the start about the championship, but I think it's over. I mean 40
I
points
hope
to make
not.
up in 6 races.
But it just takes a Vettel win and Hamilton blowing an engine or a crash, and all of a sudden that 40-point gap is 15.
15. That's still a lot, though.
50? Really? You think
15?
15's a lot?
I think so. Yeah.
It's
because
like an 8-point difference if you win a race compared to second.
yeah. If
So let's say Vettel gets 3
How
race
many races
wins.
do we have left?
6?
Yeah.
If it was down to like the last 4, maybe it was over. Maybe last 3.
Let's bring in double points again for Abu Dhabi.
Oh God. But I just think when I look at the races remaining, Russia, which Mercedes have been good at, Suzuka, which is another Mercedes typical track.
No, I think Suzuka might be a Ferrari track this year.
Might be this year. I mean, it's been hard to tell this year, right? Because
Also,
Singapore,
Suzuka, you never know. Suzuka's
Conditions
always
are difficult.
Suzuka and
Yeah.
Interlagos are 2 races that are just kind of like toss it up in the air and you're like, oh, something's gonna happen.
if Ferrari still has the power advantage, then I mean, Suzuka, Russia, even the Circuit of the Americas should be good for them.
Yeah. We need a monsoon race before the end of the season.
I wouldn't go well for Ferrari either, because
Oh, yeah, that'd be a Red
Hamilton's
Bull
been-
victory.
yeah, or Red Bull,
Maybe
probably in
Max.
Brazil. Yeah, I think that would be the next chance for Red Bull. I mean, yeah, certainly it's not over till it's over.
No.
Like you said, a DNF from Hamilton would change everything, but they've already had one technical issue this year that's resulted in a DNF.
Well, we saw like it could happen to what Vettel happened when you're in the lead of the race. And
Oh,
then
it won't
a little
happen
bit
with
of,
Hamilton.
A little bit of rain and see you later.
Trust me, it won't happen with him.
That was the championship right there, I think.
I think so. Oh, in Germany?
In
yeah.
Germany, yeah.
I
Yeah.
completely agree. I thought, to be honest with you, after Monza, I thought that was the moment. But I looked at it again, and I'm like, yeah, the Germany incident was definitely, when you look at, they were coming off the momentum of Silverstone,
Yeah.
where they, well, not dominated, but they beat Mercedes on the home turf. They won in Canada, decent finish in Austria after Hamilton DNF'd. And yeah, like the position that he was in, Hamilton starting 14th, he was on pole, Vettel was leading most of the race, and then just
Binned
blew it.
He binned it.
Exactly. And then from there on, yeah, it's just been sort of a slow change. I mean, Mercedes finished the summer break strong, and then, yeah. It's just disappointing, though, because I
Yeah.
wish it would have came down to the last race or two.
Yeah.
And it looked like that's how it was going to be from the first half of the season. And now it's 40 points with 6 races to go.
Well, hopefully there's a change. I think for everyone's sake, we hope there's a change.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Before we wrap things up, I also want to mention one thing: is that how does Esteban Ocon not have a drive for next year?
I know.
I don't know,
Like-
man.
Because his dad doesn't have a lot of money.
Yeah, but throw him in the Williams then, with George Russell.
It might happen.
Him and Russell in the Williams, or I don't know. I feel like there's a bunch of different more options.
Yeah,
Hey,
there's
where's
a lot
Is
of
Perez?
drivers,
Is Perez have a ride?
Yeah, he's back with Force India.
Oh, he is. That was official.
Maybe not after this weekend, but
Yeah. That's official though.
I believe so. I don't know if it's official, but via Twitter, it's official.
Oh, okay. I just I don't know. It boggles my mind. He's pretty talented.
Yeah, he definitely should have one. And I mean, that's the advantage
He's
of
still decently young, too, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's like
he's
22.
25.
Yeah,
Well, is he?
that's not too bad.
Yeah,
maybe
I can
not
see it.
23, 22, something like that.
Talk about it for a second.
Yeah, ask Siri.
Like,
You probably could.
hey Siri, how old is Esteban Ocon?
Esteban Ocon is 21.
21.
Wow.
If you couldn't hear that.
Apple, please sponsor us.
Oh, he was born when we were born, 96.
96.
Wow.
Oh, okay, wow.
Look where I am.
He's younger than me, man. That
Yeah, that's true.
Well, look at Stroll. He's even younger than him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's
Look
true.
at Leclerc.
Verstappen was 17 when he drove for first
Yeah, when
time.
I was 17, I was racing around the streets of Ottawa in my Honda Civic.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I had my Honda Accord.
There you go.
It was breaking many speed limits.
I'll be getting my my Red Bull Honda outfit ready for next season. Like my
Boy, they can't wait for that, can they?
I don't. Yeah, they're gonna be excited for that.
Yeah.
Another interest. Now I'm thinking a little bit here. Another interesting part of the race was kind of a battle that we might see in the future, top 6, and that was Gasly and Leclerc.
Yeah.
That was great.
In the bottom teams. And it was a really good battle. And the only thing that kind of held Gasly back is that his tires were basically steel on the pavement. But a really good battle, and it's gonna be really fun next year to see them in the big teams battling out in the top 6, maybe top 3.
And quickly we can actually touch on that because that happened before this race when they confirmed Leclerc going to Ferrari, Raikkonen back to Sauber where he originally began his career.
I heard that Raikkonen might buy parts in Sauber and be part owner of Sauber.
Yeah, they asked him that, but he said obviously he didn't confirm anything. But maybe
cool.
maybe it's an investment
That'd be
for
cool.
the future.
Yeah.
I was surprised that he signed 2 years. He'll be 40 when he finishes his contract.
Great,
great news for us. I'm glad that he's staying in the sport.
Maybe it's a lot of mentoring now for Raikkonen.
Yeah.
I think if you're Sauber, it's phenomenal.
Oh, if it's Sauber, it's like
exactly.
you're going to basically
100%.
develop my next car.
Even for Ferrari too, because it is a Ferrari
Yeah.
B team, so to speak, and it has the this year's engine in it too. So I think the move was.
I still would like to see Leclerc move up to Haas before. I know Haas is in a Ferrari affiliate team, but I mean they basically copy everything Ferrari does. So
I think I would agree too, because this could go either way. Like, Leclerc could be a star right away in Ferrari, but especially if Ferrari don't win the championship this year, there's going to be even more pressure on them from Italy and from the
do you
fan
think
base.
this might scare Vettel away too?
No, because I think Vettel really wants to win a championship in Ferrari, just like his idol Michael Schumacher. I think that's why he's there, and that's why he's getting so frustrated and stuff like that. Because realistically, where else would he go? Unless he partners
Renault.
with
Him and Danny.
Haas.
Him and Danny again.
Yeah, or unless he partners with
Legends.
Hamilton. Can't beat him, join him, right?
No, that'd be.
Oh my God,
No.
I couldn't. I can't even think of it, man.
This is
it's
what's
just-
crazy. Like,
Like you're basically everyone shaker. You just like automatically you're like, no, that's frustration. No.
and again, like we've trashed him before. I'm not a Hamilton fan, but in between this Grand Prix, he went to Milan, Shanghai, New York, ran his fashion line, which
I haven't checked out.
Some of his shit looks horrible. I mean,
bad. I haven't looked at it. It's probably expensive.
his style, whatever, that's his thing. But basically flies through different continents, different time zones. Sebastian's sitting over there in Hoffenheim, probably playing backgammon with his family, just quietly sitting.
Okay.
And Hamilton still comes to Singapore, puts in that qualifying lap, puts in a race win, like it's nothing.
He's just a little machine. I
Like
think.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
I think he's a robot.
Maybe. So, yeah. I mean, well, we'll still hold out hope, but to say that next race is a must-win, I think, is an understatement. So,
Yeah, it's gotta be a must-win for Ferrari,
absolutely.
or at least have Hamilton have a bad race,
Yeah,
like
which
a
is
fifth,
which is hard.
fourth.
Maybe, but that's hard to see because even if he starts at like even if he spins in the first corner, I mean, he'll be back on the podium within 15 laps.
Yeah,
We've seen that in many races this year, so I think it has to be a DNF.
and Russia's good overtaking track too, so like he'll be able to work
He'll
his
be
way
able to
through.
do it, yeah.
And I'm also interested going forward. We didn't really see it in this race because Raikkonen kind of underperformed a little bit in qualifying. But what's Raikkonen's attitude? Like, does he even really care anymore about helping Vettel? I mean, he's not in the team next year, so if he wants to race
No.
for himself, this is his last.
Man, I just raced for himself.
Yeah, he's got 6 more races to win a race and to get on a podium. Because
I hope he wins Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, me too.
That'd be awesome. I mean, I hope he wins a race, but like Abu Dhabi would be pretty
Yeah.
cool for him.
They would.
Kind of a sending off.
And with 6 races to go, Valtteri still no wins.
Yeah,
No
that's
pole,
true.
or actually, he got 1 pole position.
I
I was
thought
just
he did
thinking-
have a win.
No, I thought he'd had a win too.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
he
pretty
has.
sure he has a win.
Has he? I don't think
was
so.
looking at this earlier today.
I'm pretty sure Shaker's right. I thought he had a
Really?
win this season.
Oh, which one though?
Well, that's why I don't.
No, I
remember.
don't know.
It
I
was-
wanna
it
double
was
check this.
really
I'm
early in the
checking right
season.
now.
I can run it. So Australia, Vettel, Bahrain, Vettel, China, Ricardo, Baku, Hamilton, Spain, Hamilton.
Oh no, you're right. Bottas does not have a win.
Yeah. No
Nope.
win.
I thought
Top
he did.
5, like him and Kimi both are tied for top 5 with 11, and they have 0 wins. While Hamilton
crazy.
has 7, Vettel has 5, Verstappen has 1, and Ricardo has 2. Those are the only people with wins.
Wow.
It's a shame.
Random thought, but would be fun to see is say in a dream world, Fernando Alonso in his last races for Ferrari.
How would that work?
I don't know. Just say Kimi, we gotta put Fernando in for his last race. But then that'd be I don't know. That'd be Raikkonen's
Or
last race.
everybody just.
Or he goes to
lets-
Renault and says, "Science, see you later," and they do
Yeah.
a car switch. Science goes into the
Yeah.
McLaren, and Fernando can end with Renault.
Isn't Vettel
One
kind of
race.
turning into Alonso at Ferrari?
Yeah,
Like just
Yes.
always coming up short.
and like being really bossy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot. Yeah. I think there's some criticism to be lobbied both at the team, but also him as well.
Yeah.
For
Maybe just being at Ferrari makes you super cynical.
I mean, Italians don't have patience, so like
I
that
don't
doesn't
know.
Surprise me.
there's certainly. I mean, when you compare it to the well-oiled Mercedes German engineering, like nothing beats that, right? So
No, hey, but you know what? It's got to be done with your hands. That's the right way to do it. That's why British cars are so good.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's what's. Sorry. Go ahead.
Nothing.
No, I was just gonna say that that team is probably like one of the best in the history in terms
Yeah,
of the way they
for
work
sure.
together. And then
I heard that like if they win a Grand Prix, they all get bonuses, or if they win the constructors championship, they all get free Mercedes.
yeah, the amount
Like,
of money
what?
they have. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Like, of course you'd want to be like, yeah, free Mercedes, let's go. Like, I'll work my ass off for that.
Good motivation,
One a
right?
year? Oh, I'm so down.
Yeah, probably some guy has 4 Mercedes chilling
Yeah.
in the back.
And about to be 5th year in a row.
Are they leading constructors by a lot?
Yeah, but
Here I have
Shaker,
pulled
yeah,
up.
we can check that. Probably not. Probably by a healthy amount.
I
by this
thought
time, but
Ferrari was still.
they could still come out with it. I mean, Bottas hasn't been driving as well.
Yeah, no, I thought
so-
Ferrari were leading constructors. Although, what was the podium today? It was.
No, it's Mercedes with 452, and then Ferrari with 415, and then Red Bull
Ooh,
at
so
275.
40.
Yeah.
274, sorry.
Yeah.
Same as the.
Everything is slipping away from them.
So basically, if Vettel wins the championship, they win the constructors because
Yeah.
it's both 40 points.
Yep, he's got a lot of work to do. Him and the team as well. So they'll have another week off, and then we'll go to Russia in September 30th, and then we'll have, I believe, a back-to-back with Japan. So we will be joining you guys for that race recap as the season is winding down. We're pretty much at the end now. Like we
Yeah.
said, 6 to go. We're already in October, essentially, within a couple of weeks. So yeah, pretty crazy that.
Then we'll have the wait for next year, the new cars, and see how that all shakes up. But
Yeah, there's been a lot. They released the 2021 spec car outlines,
thoughts?
which I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I mean, granted that it's just sort of a
It's-
graphic
Yeah.
drawing, so it doesn't maybe look as realistic, but
Yeah.
it looks too much like Formula E. It looks too much like we're in the Jetsons. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not what a Formula One car is.
I agree.
I think the way the cars look now are just fine. Just improving, simplifying the front wings, the rear wings, all the side pods, all that type of stuff. I just think that if that's the way the cars are going to look, that's not really going to be great. And then they also said that they're not going to make huge engine regulation changes either in 2021. So that's probably even more disappointing if you're everybody except Mercedes and Ferrari.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully it's just more affordable. You can get more teams in there. I need at least 2 more new teams. Like
For
24
sure.
cars on the grid would be nice.
Yeah.
it would certainly solve the driver market issues.
Yeah, it would. I mean, like Jaguar should get back in. I think they did
Porsche.
really well with Formula E. Jaguar,
Yeah,
Porsche. You're right, or Audi.
yeah.
Like someone like
Porsche
there.
would be nice. To
I
see,
still
but
think an American company needs to get in, like a Chevrolet or Ford. Like that just makes sense. If you ever want to get into the North America market, just
Yeah,
be
they're
like,
an
hey,
IndyCar. Yeah,
Yeah, hey Chevy or hey Ford. I don't really care who it is.
definitely.
Or Chrysler. Like maybe Chrysler's a more realistic one. 'cause
Chrysler would never make it. They do not have the money.
they do really well. Chrysler does really well in all the endurance stuff. Do they not? Or they used to.
I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe they used to.
Maybe they used to. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to know because it's like who owns.
Yeah, who
'cause
owns what?
Isn't it doesn't Volkswagen own
Volkswagen owns Mercedes.
like they own like
No.
Lamborghini and those ones, right?
No, Lamborghini is owned by
Lamborghini.
Alfa Romeo.
I thought it was just recently bought out.
But yeah, because it's hard to tell because they're not all independent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're under the
Yeah.
the branch of.
Oh no, Porsche is
Porsche
under
owns
Volkswagen.
Yeah, and same with Audi.
Yeah, Volkswagen.
Because a lot of Audi engines are the same as VW engines.
Yeah. Because I know like the Cadillacs, they run in like those
That's
LMP
GM.
series, right? So
Yeah, that's like, well, yeah, that's Chevy.
yeah.
Chevy is
It's GM.
yeah.
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 Yeah. I can confirm that. That much I know.
But they could. Yeah, they.
I don't know.
Like I said.
It's just an idea.
Yes,
More
owner of
teams.
Volkswagen Group for Lamborghini. Whoever said that is right.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
So I know
So
Alpha has Ferrari, obviously.
yep.
Yeah, and then-
Fiat as well.
Fiat, that's right. Well,
that-
no, it's Fiat that has.
Fiat Chrysler, isn't it? The
Oh yeah. So I guess.
And
Yeah,
then
you're right.
I'm
apparently
just getting super confused.
Volkswagen Group is owned by its subsidiary Audi, so they're all like the same.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yeah.
well, that's the point.
Well, we'll see. But yeah,
Tesla. Get Tesla.
let's get a oh boy. I hope we don't go to an electric series. Let's just pray for that at least.
Formula E was fun, but like not as the top series.
Exactly. Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so Volkswagen owns Audi, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Porsche, Seat, Skoda, motorcycles under the Ducati brand. So like pretty
Really?
much every like decently nice car
Yeah.
is owned by the Volkswagen Group.
So let's get
So
VW.
maybe
in
Toyota. Yeah, VW
Yeah.
to get Toyota in there.
Bring Toyota back. Yeah. Or
Bring-
what if
get Vauxhall? Get an Aussie brand in there. I think they're actually owned by Ford. So
we should get Volvo in there. They'd be the most reliable engines next to Honda.
they would, but the downforce.
let's
be
get Mini
atrocious.
Cooper in there. They'd be the cutest cars on the grid.
Who else could we have?
Well, Mini Cooper would be BMW, right?
We could get Jeeps in there. What's that?
Jeeps.
Mini Cooper would be BMW, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah, BMW.
Yeah, why did
Bring
I don't know why we
bring
don't-
BMW back.
Oh, jeez. Everyone watching has been screaming like BMW, man. Like,
Or Honda. Honda will create a works team like they used
well,
to.
that's what I like. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's probably the more realistic one.
I think the main goal, like you said before, is reduce the cost so that we can
Yeah.
have a little bit more
Even if we have
competitive.
30 cars out there, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
That'd just be drama everywhere.
It would be.
And then get rid of the blue
They
flags.
they would need to extend, so they would need to make some of the tracks longer. Would they
no,
not?
I think they just need to get rid of blue flags. That'd be too confusing.
like the old school days.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It just get too confusing. You'd have a blue flag every corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, excuse me, in that case, they
Imagine
would need
30
to.
cars going around Monaco.
Should talk about track
Nothing would
positioning and
ever
pulling.
happen.
Jeez, it'd just be accidents galore.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe 30's too much.
It'd be harder to follow.
I think 24 would be a good number.
I say 24 to 28. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the
Like
ideal.
28 the max, kind of like
the ideal window.
But-
yeah.
They would need to change some of the point system around. For
Yeah,
that, would
that'd
they?
get completely redone.
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. But
That'd be
still,
Like
interesting.
top
yeah.
12 or
Yeah.
something.
yeah.
Or top 12, not top 15.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple years, right? So a lot of stuff can change, but that's the problem is that there's just too much change.
Yeah.
Like when I saw the new outlines for it, I'm like, there's no reason why. There's a reason why North America isn't into Formula One. Like this is why.
Yeah.
It changes every single year.
Or
Like-
NASCAR, it's like the same thing. Actually, NASCAR's losing steam now too. need to
They are
change some
losing
things up.
steam, and I mean, let's be honest. People here are into dumb sports, like baseball, football, that have like
Just keep it simple, man.
5-10 minutes of action.
Just go hit a ball and
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good. Drink some beers and
exactly. Like when you start talking about a Canadian or American and you use terms like drag reduction system and ERS and
they're like,
Hypersoft, like
Is that a beer company? Like,
they don't want to hear about
okay,
it.
well, I don't care.
Yeah, so I mean that's a big challenge for them. So
We have these
What they
Germans
really
that are like,
need
aha.
at F1 races is tailgates.
Oh, no, you're right. 100%.
Everyone would be in.
100% you're right. But I don't think Europeans know what tailgating is.
like
Yeah,
it's
I
too
don't-
classy for
They
them.
don't have
Well-
trucks. That's the problem.
Like other than like the soccer games, which like I don't know if you can really say as a tailgate. It's more just getting hammered at a bar.
well,
But the thing
also with soccer games, one of my roommate apparently went to. He went to I think a Fulham game when he was in London.
Scary place.
Yeah. Apparently, you are not allowed to bring beers into the stands.
Yeah,
you
no,
have to
that's
drink.
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Is that everywhere?
Yeah.
in the
So
UK?
everywhere in the football league in the UK, so top 4 divisions, you're not allowed to bring you're not allowed to have alcohol in your seats. You can only
Yeah, you
it-
have to drink it outside
in the
before you get
lobby.
in your seats.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But that's why
Safety
you go to
concern.
lower league games and have beer
Yeah.
or something.
Well, I mean, when you go to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, like it's a park, right? So you can
Yeah.
bring in coolers and beer
Yeah.
and food and drinks or whatever, which is great. But that's sort of a tailgate because you get like a lot of sort of a redneck crowd, I guess.
Yeah,
if you
but
wanna
Canada
call
does it right because we sell out every year.
Yeah, but the
So-
thing is like you go there and it's like a qualifying session of the race, and you got people that are like sitting way at the back just drinking beers with each other. I'm like, why are you here?
Because they're just chilling out,
They're just chilling.
and that's fine. I'm
But
fine with
during
that.
the race, like during
I'm
walk
fine
cars,
with that. As long as there's people
Well, if you got, like,
there, I'm fine with it. Do whatever you want.
you got $500 to throw out the window, sure.
So their choice. They spent
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
Maybe Lance Stroll, they're Stroll's buddies. He was out of the race, so there's.
Yeah.
But they could do something like that for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Harder to do, like for example, Monaco.
They're
right?
doing
When-
a good job. Like the new owners are doing a good job. You saw that LED screen at the end of the race today. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was sweet. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
nice to see. That's a cool little twerk.
And just so you guys know, there's like some of those when you see the like those signs where it's like Lewis push now. Those are not actually up there live in person. It's
Yeah, they're just graphics.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
just graphics coming.
The
you know,
graphics are cool now.
from the cameras and stuff. So it's not like they're driving and they're like, oh, what is this? So
Okay. The screen tells me to push now. I
Yeah.
guess Toto means push now. Like, that's not how it's working out.
yeah, so that's another thing there. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So in conclusion, Vettel and Ferrari need to push it on in
You
the
blew
last
it.
6 races.
Yeah,
I did blow
exactly.
it. Sorry.
Congratulations, Lewis.
I
You
guess.
did it again.
Made it boring this year.
Is he? Are we starting to become Hamilton fans? What's going on?
I don't know, but I think we're just getting a lot of respect for Lewis.
Yeah, fair
Like
enough.
I already did respect him, and he's a great driver and a good person.
I almost became a Lewis fan on Saturday, and then once he started talking, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what. That's honestly it. Like I
that's
see his
what it
drive,
is.
I'm like, yeah, great driver. Then he starts talking, I'm like,
Fuck.
fuck, why'd you have to do that?
That's basically what it is. I will agree with that.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
What can you do?
Is that it from Singapore?
Yep. Are we doing like a quick little fun Russia thing just to see? Any,
Oh, yeah,
like
predictions?
one surprise from Russia or a
Are
prediction.
we doing a preview for Russia, or are we gonna
Yeah,
do
we'll
our
see how our
predictions then?
schedules go. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a week in between, so I think we'll have time to do
Yeah.
one. We'll definitely be back for the recap, but yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Danny Kvyat makes an appearance at some point at the Russian Grand Prix. Doesn't have to be in the car, but he's gonna be somewhere there.
I think they will announce him at Russia. Yeah, I agree with you there.
That's my bold prediction.
Um,
Home race for Sergei Sorokin, by the way.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna say Bottas wins in Russia like he did last year.
All right.
I don't know what my things for this one's gonna be, guys.
Well, Kevin Magnussen getting the lap record isn't a surprise anymore. so-
Sergei Sorokin lap record.
Let's
I'm
be
gonna-
realistic.
I'm gonna say a crash for Charles or Pierre Gasly.
Oh, one of the young kids.
One of
Little
the
bit
younger
of
kids.
like
Yeah,
adversity.
I think now that they've signed to a bigger team, they're a little more cocky and they're gonna try and push for it and they're gonna fuck it up.
Pierre Gasly flies over Charles Leclerc.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
Okay.
I like that. It's different. I like it.
All right. Well, we'll hold you guys up to those predictions. We'll see who's right. But yeah, until then, that's it for us for the Singapore recap. We didn't do a fantasy update, but we'll do one before Russia. We'll post those on our social media pages. So with 6 races to go, you want to stay updated with your fantasy teams.
I don't think I'm doing well anymore.
I've actually gotten into the
No.
top 5 after Italy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
You.
I was
Nice.
surprised. So, but yeah, I can't win it anyway. So, but it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Party.
And yeah, in the meantime, of course, you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, please do so. Like this video, and we appreciate all the comments in the last episode that we did. So,
You did.
or I did.
Yeah, no, this is our
Yeah,
first
we're-
show after
we're
like
back.
2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Eh? Yeah.
Hi,
Well, I
everyone.
mean, yeah.
It's
Now
like,
that
not 2 months, like maybe
It's been a month.
It's been a month.
I
Yeah,
noticed
that
the
we're all
viewers
here.
came back too after the summer. So if you guys are tuning in to us again or for the first time, we appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, whether you've watched us for the first time or the 27th time, we always want to hear your opinions and inputs on what we think and what you think. So comment in the videos below. We're on Twitter and Instagram at TBMF1Show, so you can talk to us there, and also by email as well if you want to use that
If you're
platform.
60 and don't have social media.
Yeah, or if you want to stay anonymous for whatever reason and
Yeah,
just
you can do that too, yeah.
want to do that as well. So find us there, and we'll be back in, what is it, 2 weeks' time?
Yeah,
with,
week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
September 30th is the race, so yeah.
with your Russian Grand Prix race recap, and then we'll see about the preview. But
Yeah.
we'll keep you guys updated with that. Is that it?
That's it.
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
Cheers.
guys. See you next time.
Outro music.